Now, Matchroom are saying this lunchtime, we've been made aware that a random anti-doping test for Benn conducted by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association returned an adverse analytical finding for trace amounts of a fertility drug. The B sample's yet to be tested, meaning that no rule violation has been confirmed. Indeed, Mr. Benn has not been charged with any rule violation. He is not suspended and he remains free to fight. Hence, Sauerland, representing Eubank Jr, confirmed to us moments ago, the fight goes ahead. Simon, I know you're taking this. Yeah. We're somewhat baffled that this can happen so close to a fight. We're somewhat baffled that this can happen at all.
Disappointed as well.
And disappointed. Having said all that, it has happened. Very keen to get this man's view. Boxing expert. He's the commentator at all the top fights for talkSPORT. He is the one and only Adam Catterall. Adam, good afternoon to you. What's your take on what you're hearing?
Jeez, gents. After all this week where we've been talking about a fight that we wanted to see that's definitely not happening for whatever reasons, we then get this today when we're all looking forward to this fight at the weekend. Without hearing from Conor, without hearing from Eddie, without hearing from people involved, I know that you've just had Sauerland on there and his take on it. I don't want to be too harsh and throw too many people under the bus, but last year, if I can cast your mind back to a time when Oscar Valdez tested positive for a banned substance and he was allowed to fight and defend his world title against Robson Conceição, and that was outrageous. To send a fighter into a fight with loaded gloves in whatever way, shape or form, however that gets into your system, is absolutely wrong. This fight, now I know that the people have started putting statements out. Sauerland on your show just 2 minutes ago has said that it's not a performance-enhancing drug. Why is it on a banned list? It, by definition, being on a banned list, has some type of performance enhancing connected to it. Whether it allows people to train for longer, train for harder, train for longer sessions in order to be able to implement that. Whether it's all those things, if it's on the list by the voluntary anti-doping, which adhere to the world anti-doping jurisdiction, it is a performance enhancer in some way, shape or form. I agree that there are levels of performance enhancing, but it is a performance enhancer in some way, shape or form. So therefore, you've got to take it seriously. Now, I know that Matchroom just put a statement out saying that we're obviously being sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, who adhere to UK anti-doping. Cool, fine. And they're saying that he's passed all his UK anti-doping tests. When were they, though? Were they yesterday? Were they 2 days ago? Was this thing out of his system by that point? We've got to take this seriously. Attitudes towards performance-enhancing drugs.
What they're saying is, what Sauerland just said, if I heard him right, was this was a voluntary test under the auspice of WADA, like you're talking about, at the end of August. And subsequent UCAD tests have come back negative. My argument would be that's irrelevant. If you've got a positive test at any shape, beginning or end, that's the end of the discussion.
How can they say the B sample hasn't been determined?
And that's another thing. Danny, you bring up a wonderful point, right? Why, if this has been tested and he's failed at the end of August, start of September, or whenever this test has come in, why have we not tested the B sample then straight away?
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm struggling. I'm confused by the different statements. It's just not making sense.
What's your take on what we heard from Sauerland, Adam, that the two fighters then get into a huddle and they came away with it with Eubank Jr. saying, yeah, I'm happy to fight?
Should be their decision. This should be taken out of their hands. At the end of the day, these are the fighters. Of course, they want to have a fight. They're not bothered about whether people are loaded or not. At the end of the day, there's 3 million, 4 million quid on the line for them at the weekend. They want to turn up and get paid.
Correct.
This should not be their decision. The British Boxing Board of Control should be standing up and taking the voluntary anti-doping test seriously. Absolutely. Yes, I know that you work with the UK anti-doping. I know that. But this is a test. He's popped hot. Let's look into it properly. What happens if something happens on Saturday night?
Absolutely.
What if we've already got a safety issue with the weight disparity? We've already got that. Now we're potentially sending a person in there loaded. What if something happens?
How does
this get strapped through the mud?
Adam, in your professional judgment, I know how I think it should play out tragically, but how do you think, given what we're looking at now, unless there's a huge juxtapose in the next couple of hours, how do you think this should play out?
If that B sample does not come back before Saturday negative, the fight should be off.
B sample from when?
From the voluntary test.
What? Back in August?
Back in August.
The reason why they have two tests is just in case one of them is tainted.
No, I get that.
They can get tainted in the laboratory.
There will be a B sample, won't there, Adam? There will be a B sample.
But Adam, what I'm confused with is if the A sample of the voluntary testing was done at the end of August, the B test wouldn't be getting done this week. It would have already been done.
No, we know that.
So why hasn't it been?
You have to apply. Well, it should have been. You've got to apply for it. Basically, what happens is that they will flag up the voluntary anti-doping. They test and they present the results. They're not a sanctioning body. They're not the people that can ban you.
Then it
comes down to the sanctioning body. Yes. So they will flag it. They'll report the results back to the people that have obviously had the test, and then the people that have had the test and said, "Oh, we've popped out here. I haven't taken anything wrong. I've not done anything wrong. Let's send for the B sample straight away." That's what should have happened. But that has obviously not happened according to the statement that you just read from Eddie Hearn.
You're right, Adam. According to the statement this lunchtime from Matchroom, the B sample is yet to be tested, meaning that no rule violation has been confirmed. Well, surely that's absolutely critically important to everything that's going on. Surely in terms of priorities, that's the main one.
Listen, of course, this is the murky world of boxing. It comes down to the British Boxing Board of Control. They are the sanctioning party here in this particular fight, and they adhere to the UK anti-doping. And what we're hearing there from Eddie Hearn is that he's passed his UK anti-doping tests. So do they take into consideration the voluntary anti-doping test that he's allegedly failed?
Yeah,
I think they should. I think they should, but they don't have to because they're working with UK anti-doping.
Adam, we're going to take a break, and I want to thank you for your time this lunchtime. In a few sentences, give us your takeaway from this. You're so experienced covering fights of this stature. What's your takeaway at this moment?
We need to hear from Conor Benn. We need to hear from Eddie Hearn. We need to find out the reasons as to how this substance has ended up into Conor Benn's system. We need the B sample to come back from voluntary anti-doping, and if that B sample we need it now. And if we don't have it now, this fight cannot go ahead at the weekend. You cannot send a fighter with an adverse finding into a fight.
But the B
we
sample...
are not running the 100 meters, ladies and gentlemen. We're not playing tennis. We are punching people in the face.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.